This week on Beacon Web News, we check out the changes that are coming to the English Communications Department at MCLA. Then, we learn more about her campus. And BWN goes international as we catch up with students who traveled abroad during spring break. That's coming up next on Beacon Web News. Hello and welcome to the March 21st episode of Beacon Web News. I'm Julia Texera. First, let's check in with Matt Mears for a preview of this week's weather forecast on the day after spring officially began.
Expect to see a fair amount of clouds over the next week, though we'll be leaving all the snow behind as temperatures continue to rise and we move into the spring season. I'll be back soon with your full 7-day forecast, Julia.
Thanks, Matt. Students all over the Berkshires participated in the March 14th nationwide school walkout in response to Parkland, Florida shooting on February 14th that left 17 people dead. Drury High of North Adams participated, with students walking outside of the building at 10 a.m. to protest gun violence, rather than assemble in the gymnasium like school administrators had suggested. Lee Middle School and High School, Lenox Memorial Middle and High School, Berkshire Waldorf High School, and Reed Middle School, among others, also participated. Performance artist Jennifer Miller, founder and director of Circus Mock, a queer political circus that performs for free in the parks and squares of New York City, will be in Sullivan Lounge on March 22nd. As a bearded woman, Miller has worked within and against freak show traditions, conveying to her audience that they can look, but only if they listen to her feminist and queer perspectives on body politics. In this event, Miller will reflect on 25 years of the circus, show short clips from various circuses, and offer a few live acts. Harlequin Musical Theater Club is Harlequin's musical theater production of Be More Chill runs through Thursday, March 22nd to Saturday, March 24th. The musical is about a teenager who discovers a computer that can give him a date with the girl of his dreams. The show is $1, and tickets can be reserved by emailing harlequinbemorechill@gmail.com. Common Folk is holding a music theory workshop on Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. The Language of Music is an hour-long discussion on how to express music through language. The workshop is being held at the Design Lab on Main Street. For more information, email wearecommonfolk@gmail.com. Bon Iver is coming to Mass Mocha on Saturday, March 24th at 8 p.m. and Sunday, March 25th at 2 p.m. The Two Dance Company will perform on stage alongside Bon Iver. Tickets are $25 in advance, $35 day of, and $45 for preferred seating. For more information, visit massmocha.org/events/Bon Iver to dance. On Sunday, March 25th, artist Allison Janae Hamilton will have her first solo exhibition at Mass Mocha. Her work ranges from photographs to videos to sculptures. Her artwork is all influenced by sights and sounds of different southern landscapes. For more information, visit massmocha.org. MCLA's English Communications Department is planning to add a communications major next fall, pending State Board of Education approval. BWN's Sam Niskern has more on the story.
The English Communications Department is already the largest one at MCLA, but it might get even bigger because in fall 2018, the goal is to add a communications major. Head of the English and Communications Department, Paul Lesage, shared some insight on how long this major has been in the works.
We've been working for several years on this, and we started back in 2004 with Dr. Birch. He had this proposal a long time ago, so it's been a long time coming, but it's been in the last year or so that we really worked hard. As a comm committee, worked all summer getting all the paperwork in to get courses approved alone is a lot of work, and people work off the clock on this major.
Lesage emphasized that the addition of the major is not a split in the department.
This is not a splitting the department at all. It's one department offering numerous kinds of things. And what's good about this is you could be a literature concentrator and still get a digital media minor, which we're working on. And so a lot of our courses are liberal arts courses, and I think this is an advantage. You have a wonderful opportunity. Even in film alone, you could be on the technical side or you can be on the film study side. I think this is going to give people a really advantage in the job market.
Senior Joe Carew weighed in on what he felt were the benefits of the added major.
I know they're going for liberal arts, and you're supposed to spread yourself, be essentially a Renaissance man, but with a communication major specifically, it will allow more focus essentially in things that you need to know to be a journalist and to be involved in like Beacon Web News and stuff like that. Communication and English as a major will provide more flexibility in taking courses. Like I had to take a lot of literature courses while I was like a freshman and sophomore, and no offense to the literature courses, it wasn't what I came here for.
Professor Sean McIntosh explained where the major stands as of now.
At the end of the fall semester, the curriculum committee passed it and the all-college committee both passed it. Actually, on Wednesday, I'm going to be presenting to the Board of Trustees Academic Affairs Committee, and then so the Board of Trustees still has to pass it, but it's basically has to go to the state after that.
McIntosh went on to express the importance of having a major designed for communication students.
I think it's important for students who are more communications oriented to be able to take the kinds of classes that they want, that they feel like are going to be more helpful for them, for their major, and for their professional interests. And the interesting thing about the major is that except for one new class, all the classes are existing classes. So we're essentially just reshuffling courses that were available and making different kinds of requirements.
McIntosh continued, expressing how the new major could help bring in more students to MCLA.
I know from open houses we have a lot of students who are interested in communications areas, broadcast, journalism, PR. So I'm assuming that having this communication, the major as a unique major within the department, it's going to make it actually more attractive to students. So I think any split in that sense is going to be more than compensated for by new students coming in attracted to the communications major.
Now the new major is still a ways off in the distance, so for upperclassmen like seniors or juniors, we probably won't really see much of a change. But for the underclassmen like freshmen and sophomores, if you're looking to specialize more in your area of study, you're going to have that chance coming up. For Beacon Web News, I'm Samantha Niskern.
Tonight, March 21st, join the Susan B. Anthony Women's Center in the Campus Center for a discussion about the impact our society has on women. Professor Clayfield will be leading the talk, but it will be open to everybody. Stop by Campus Center room 224 from 3 to 4 p.m. for some coffee, cocoa, or tea and engaging discussion. Tomorrow, March 22nd, the Multicultural Resource Center will be hosting a conversation, talking circles, informal conversations about current diversity topics. Some topics being discussed will be cultural appropriation. Check out the whole talk from 12 to 1 p.m. in Campus Center room 319. The North Adams Planning Board has made the decision to shut down the former BP gas station on the corner of Canal and River Street. The station no longer serves gas, but the kiosk has remained open. 2 years ago, the inactive pumps and kiosks were to be demolished, with a new 1,400-foot convenience store to be built. Since then, the project was supposedly going to be scaled down, but no new plans were ever submitted, so the board decided to shut it down. Do you have a poem to read or a song to sing? Well then, it sounds like you need an open mic. The Purple Pub in Williamstown hosts a weekly open mic every Tuesday starting at 8 p.m. For more information or questions, call 413-485-0095. Now, here's Matt Mears for this week's full 7-day weather forecast.
Thanks, Julia. This week will start off partly sunny tomorrow with a high of 37 and a low of 23. These temperatures will be fairly consistent heading into the weekend as Friday, Saturday, and Sunday all top off at a high of 38 degrees. There is a chance of a couple brief snow showers throughout Saturday afternoon and into the evening, but don't worry. We'll begin to leave all the cold and snow behind starting on Monday as temperatures rise into the mid-40s and continue to climb to 47 degrees by Wednesday throughout what should be a rather cloudy week. With your Beacon Web News 7-day forecast, I'm Matt Mears.
As part of the many travel courses that are offered at MCLA, students were able to explore different locations around the world. BWN's Andrew Strout caught up with students and faculty about their experiences. Following that is the return of BWN in Espanol with Karen Canella.
Travel courses offered at MCLA are a great way for students to experience the outside world. During spring break, students enrolled in travel courses went to different countries and cities like Cuba, England, Japan, and San Francisco to learn about different cultures. Students spent the first half of the semester learning about the culture so they would be prepared for their trip.
And the idea of that is that students arrive in the country with a foundation of knowledge about Cuban history, about important Cuban figures, about the economic and political system in this case.
A main reason Cuba was chosen as the destination for a travel course was because of its unique political landscape.
The government has a line that they want you to understand, the Cuban government, and then here in the United States, because of our lack of relations with Cuba and maybe some of the biases against them, it's hard to dig through that as well.
Seniors Drew Weiss and Henry Ailes told us why they took the course.
But as a student, you get to see certain things that I think you probably wouldn't see if you went by yourself and tried to organize a trip. So we get to see a bunch of historic sites like the Museum of the Revolution.
The scenery was absolutely beautiful. The buildings all over Cuba were painted bright colors and had this very unique architecture, but Trinidad especially was right on the beach.
The San Francisco trip had students working with members of the queer community to learn about the hardships they face.
Had the students meet with LGBT seniors, and they were paired up and did interviews with them, and many people came with their own stories to tell.
And in the travel course to England, students learned about the different culture by going to historical monuments and museums.
So we had like a really full itinerary. Westminster Abbey, we went to Barley Hall, which is like a medieval reconstruction of an old house.
If you're interested in taking a travel course next year, talk to your advisor about it. For Beacon Web News, I'm Andrew Strout.
Durante las vacaciones de la primavera, muchos estudiantes viajaron a diferentes países. Vamos a ver lo que ellos hicieron. Beacon Web News habló con estudiantes que viajaron a diferentes países durante las vacaciones de la primavera. Los estudiantes participaron en paseos de Japón, California, Cuba y Inglaterra. David Cooperi, uno de los profesores que participaron en el paseo, nos dijo de las metas que él tenía para su tiempo en Cuba.
The idea of that is that students arrive in the country with a foundation of knowledge about Cuban history, about important Cuban figures, about the economic and political system in this case.
Cooperi también nos dice que la relación que Cuba y los Estados Unidos tienen afectaron la forma que ellos aprendieron del país.
It's a complex landscape because it's difficult to learn a lot about Cuba from a neutral perspective. The government has a line that they want you to understand, the Cuban government, and then here in the United States, because of our lack of relations with Cuba and maybe some of the biases against them.
Henry Ailes nos dice lo que él encontró más bonito de Cuba.
The scenery was absolutely beautiful. The buildings all over Cuba were painted bright colors and had this very unique architecture.
Ailes también nos dice de la experiencia que él tuvo con otros cubanos.
So you're living with actual Cubans. We were eating with their families and talking just like regular people. And it was really, really interesting and a valuable experience.
Drew Weiss nos dice que él se siente muy afortunado que él participó en ese paseo.
I think I'm incredibly lucky to have gone to Cuba as a student. But as a student, you get to see certain things that I think you probably wouldn't see if you went by yourself and tried to organize a trip.
Weiss también nos dice que en el paseo uno tenía que aprender de la historia de Cuba.
Taking the Cuba course, we met once a week before to sort of go over the history, the politics, parts of Cuban culture, and basically how people act in their day-to-day life. And so having the information that we had before we went and going there, you could really put all that information to the test.
Muchos de los estudiantes dijeron que la experiencia fue increíble. Para Beacon Web News, soy Karen Canela.
The search for a new Mount Greylock superintendent in Williamstown has been narrowed down to 2 candidates, but we don't know who they are yet. The Mount Greylock Superintendent Search Committee voted to send 2 of the original 5 candidates' names to the Transition Committee. All 5 of the candidates' names have not been disclosed as a privacy measure, though the 2 remaining candidates will have the opportunity to go public before they are identified in an open meeting held by the Transition Committee. Join the MCLA Women's Center in Sullivan Lounge on Wednesday, March 28th at 7 p.m. for a viewing of the film Battle of the Sexes, starring Steve Carell and Emma Stone. The film is a biographical comedy about the 1973 tennis match between Billie Jean King and Bobby Riggs. The film showing is a part of MCLA's Women's History Month celebration. And join the Women's Center on March 27th at 8 p.m. in Sullivan Lounge for a showing of They Call Me Q. They Call Me Q is about a girl from Bombay's cultural pressure and acceptance with American culture. For this week's club feature, we take a look at Her Campus.
Her Campus is the largest online magazine focused around women. It is also a lifestyle magazine and is nationally affiliated. Different colleges can participate in the magazine and have their own sections, or better known as chapters, to post online. MCLA has their own chapter that was founded by Mitchell Chapman. The writers of this chapter certainly do not have to be only women. It is open to anyone.
That's the great thing about Her Campus. It's a blank canvas. It includes people of all shapes and sizes and backgrounds. Yeah.
I like the freedom of it, so I can write on a whole array of topics. I've written about movies, like life lessons from TV shows, but I've also done more serious topics like NRA and their effect in the government with gun laws or lack thereof.
The Her Campus atmosphere is friendly and welcoming to anyone interested in joining.
Everyone works together. If somebody can't do something, everyone's willing to step up and help each other out, and it's judgment-free. At the meetings, you're open to say whatever you want. Everyone listens.
The new Her Campus Club at MCLA has just recently started to venture out and do more activities.
We've actually had our first event right before spring break started, and it was a movie night where people came and watched Mean Girls in their pajamas. We had a whole bunch of snacks, pizza. Somebody made cupcakes that looked like little burn books. They were cute. So in the future, we're going to take a mass smoker trip, go down all together.
The club looks for anyone interested in writing, public relations, editing, social media, event planning, graphic design, and even photography. The impact Her Campus has on resumes can go a long way.
Definitely, because this is a national organization, if you do well with the club, there are internship opportunities, and there are offices in Boston and beyond. Not just that, but also like possible job opportunities as well. It's also a great way to network.
If this club is something that perks your attention, feel free to stop by at their weekly meetings on Fridays at 3 p.m. in Bowman 212. For Beacon Web News, I'm Karina Matera.
MCLA will be having its annual Spring Day of Service on April 14th. Registration begins at 9 a.m. and service time will be from 9:45 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. in Venable Gym. Food and drinks will also be included from 12:30 p.m. to 1 p.m. To sign up for the event, visit MCLA and North Adams Community Day of Service 2018 on Facebook. If you have any more questions about the event, make sure to contact Chris Hampman at Office 365. That's it for this week. To stay up to date with BWN, you can follow us on social media. Next week, we'll have a report from Maggie Allen and Sam Niskern as they meet the tiny house builders of North Adams. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.